For Colonel Vaughn Caudill, the path to a 40-year career with the United States military began here at Morehead State University. A commissioned ROTC officer, the 1973 graduate earned a Bachelor of Science degree in accounting and data processing and returned to finish his Master of Business Administration in accounting in 1975. Modest beginnings and unpromising surroundings made the path to success a bit unclear for Caudill as a young boy growing up in Carter County.
My dad worked in the coal mines. We lived on the wrong side of the tracks. We did not have running water, so we were just one of the other little hillbilly kids running around. We had there was bootleggers that stood on the corner in Hitchens. I saw the lifestyle that we grew up in. I knew that there was something different, something better out there, and I wanted to go for it. And the class song of my graduating class was The Impossible Dream. To dream the impossible dream, to reach the unreachable stars. And so that was my goal, was to reach the unreachable stars.
Caudill excelled academically at Morehead State, graduating with distinction with a 3.53 GPA and serving in multiple leadership positions. But some of his fondest memories came through the close and unique friendship formed with University President Adrian Dorn and First Lady Manon.
I could end up get to go in to see AD sometimes easier than I guess the staff and the faculty did. I ended up, I was the dean of the School of Business Economics. He said, "Hey Vaughn, I need to get a message to President Dorn." I said, "Well, call him or just go see him." He said, "You can get in to see him a lot easier than I can." I said, "Okay, what do you want me to tell him?" And so I passed on the message to AD that we did. And but it was almost like, they was had adopted me. My mother passed away in March of 1995. The Christmas card that I got that year from them said, "So sorry, Vaughn, to hear of your mother's passing. My dear, we will adopt you. I need a son to mother. Bless you. We still want to come to San Antonio sometimes. Always keep in touch. We love you very much. Manon and AD."
Caudill's service with the United States Air Force landed him in San Antonio, Texas, for the majority of his career. However, Caudill also served briefly in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. His military experience was rewarding and humbling. Caudill says his career success and 4 decades of decorated military service can all be traced back to a decisive day in late May during his junior year at Hitchens High School.
I was sitting in study hall. It was the second floor in Hitchens High School. I was the second table in from the door, first row, and I was sitting across, and we had a Korean who came into the school that year. Somebody had adopted him, and David and I, we were just whispering back and forth, and he was telling me about Korea, and I was so fascinated, and I was learning so much. Well, the coach comes over to me, and he says, "Vaughn, be quiet." I said, "Coach, David is telling me about Korea. It's fascinating. I'm learning so much." Well, the coach looks down at me, and he says, "Vaughn, shut up. He says, pick up your books, and he says, you go stand on the corner with the bootleggers. That's all you're ever going to be. And at that moment, he crushed my spirit. I just was shocked. I picked my books up, walked out the hall, walked out the main doors, down the steps. The principal's office was right to the right of that. And I guess he saw me walking down the stairs. And Leonard Marshall. And so we called him Uncle Leonard. And so he comes running down the stairs and he says, Vaughn! Vaughn! So I stopped and he comes up to me. And there's tears running down my eyes. And he says, what is it, Vaughn? I said, well, the coach told me to go stand on the corner with the bootleggers. That's all that I have to look forward to, that all I will ever amount to in the world is to be a bootlegger. And so Leonard put his arm around my shoulder, turned me around, and he walks me back up the steps, and we open the doors. When we walk in, God sent an angel. Miss Wilma Prince was standing there. And as I walked in, she just walked up, and she just, Mr. Marshall, took his arm away. She put her arm around my shoulders, and she just guided me into the guidance counselor's office. And she just pulled my head into her shoulders the same way as my mother would have done. And she just whispered into my ears, Vaughn, let it all out. Vaughn, you should just cry your heart out. And so Miss Prince, at that point, she grew back into my life. Would I have come to Morehead? Probably not, if it hadn't been for Miss Prince.
Caudill, now retired, served active duty in the United States Army and went on to a 32-year career with the U.S. Air Force as a reservist and civil servant. He worked with the Armed Services as chief of 3 unit divisions. He has received numerous awards and recognition throughout his career, including the Joint Meritorious Service Medal, the Meritorious Service Medal with 2 Oak Leaf Cluster, the Joint Commendation Medal, and the National Defense Service Medal. He was the first retiree, first reservist, and the first Ahmed Comptroller, selected as the Army's Comptroller of the Year under MACOM for fiscal year 2004.
Here at Morehead, I was a Morehead Eagle. And also I learned how to fly. I went through the ROTC flight program while I was here. So I was used to flying high. And so I went from being a Morehead Eagle and then progressed up through to becoming a Army Eagle. Morehead gave you a foundation upon which to build from, and then you have to use that foundation and build your own legacy from that.
Caudill continues to reside in San Antonio and is married to his college sweetheart, Patsy Martin Caudill, class of 1974, to whom he's been married for 42 years. The couple has 2 grown children, Damon and Krista. The honor of being selected as a member of the Morehead State University Alumni Hall of Fame is a recognition that Vaughn Caudill attributes to all of the men and women with whom he served throughout his 40-year career.
American soldier, I'm an American soldier.
A Morehead State Eagle and a serviceman to our country, Colonel Vaughn Caudill.